sleepy red.
Sleepy red.
What you looking at, Squeaky?
I do like a good nap.
I can't sleep. What you see?
Yeah.
People would be like, what you see? Because they can't hear.
Yeah, listen.
Would you see what you see? Because you can't see.
I'm the main one. Hold on. Say that again. Like this.
Right.
Like,
Say that again.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Good morning.
What's up, y'all? I don't know.
Welcome to the Power Suite.
Yes, I am not Dr. Shayna Wilder. I know y'all already know.
But I am one of your hosts, Kendra Hayward, and we have a guest today.
I am Reverend Dr. Herbert Jenkins.
Reverend Doctor.
With a lot of nicknames.
The preacher man.
See, that's just one of them.
Oh man, thank y'all so much for joining us today. Welcome to our Power Suite. We have such a great show. I am so grateful to have our guest today, Reverend Dr. Herbert Jenkins.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah,
knows.
the whole name.
Everybody
Okay.
knows. But we are so grateful that he's here. As you notice, my partner in crime, Shayna Wilder, is not here, but that's my girl. Y'all gonna see her next week. She got a week off.
Oh,
She got a week off. She on vacation.
That sounds great.
That's all right. That's
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, that's needed. That's
Be here.
necessary.
Listen, we don't have paid time off, Lashana. You watching this? We don't have PTO. We don't have it. You need to be here next week.
On time.
On time,
Huh?
early.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But because Lashana could not make it today, we wanted to make sure that you were aware that we're still here. Okay?
That's right.
We are coming off a great panel discussion that we had on July 20th. Thank you for everybody who participated, those who watched virtually. I was going over some of the data today, and I looked at how many views we've gotten on the first part and the second part. I was like, oh my gosh, overwhelmed. Thank y'all. You are amazing. So thank you so much to our panelists. I've made our official thank yous online because my mind is I'm gonna leave somebody out, but I am so grateful for everybody who participated, gave their time, their information, the resources, the information that you all shared with our guests, like amazing. And to everybody that attended, we did this because of you, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited for the next time, right? It's going to continue. Even today's discussion is going to be related to really just like a follow-up from what we talked about on Saturday. So welcome. If you missed it, it's really just, we're going to take a little twist, a little detour in how we have this discussion today, but we are talking about faith and finance.
These things are all important. They're all connected.
They're all connected.
All
Everything is connected.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm so grateful that you're here with us today to talk about this. And
Thank y'all for having me.
yay!
And hopefully we'll be able to do one where all three of us are here, and we'll be
Absolutely.
able to have another conversation. But can
We'll
I
do
just
it
say
again.
the Urban Money Matters session was fantastic.
Right, because you watched online, right?
Now I was on assignment
Okay.
in Florence, but on my way back is when the session started. So I put it on while I was driving. Now I couldn't watch it and drive, but I listened
Right.
while I was driving.
Right.
And it's such an important session that y'all had.
Right.
And I'm glad to hear that you're saying they're going to do more of them,
Yes.
because it needs to be either an annual or biannual or a quarterly kind of conversation.
Yeah.
Even when the first thing I took notice of were the people that were on the panel. You had people covering almost every scope of any given community.
Yes.
And I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And each of them had something poignant to say. No one was saying anything for the sake of just talking.
Right.
Every point that people had, you could feel the passion that they had regarding the situations or the questions that you were fielding them.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's intent was to educate and edify those who were there, who were present, and those who were online. And it was a lot of information.
Right.
A lot of great information too.
I'm so glad you said that. I took a seminar on yesterday. Shout out to Alkema Lewis. Hey, if y'all don't know who Alkema Lewis is, go check her out. Alkema Lewis Consulting. But in that seminar on yesterday, she was talking about functional diversity. And it was related to there's something that you said just now, which is intentionality.
Yeah.
Being intentional on who you include in your diversified group.
Right.
And being specific in who you choose to be on your team.
Yeah.
And that was like, the fact that you said that just now was exactly what we did. We wanted to make sure that we had a wide variety of people who are in business, who have experience in different walks of life. Like we had a pastor, we had a lawyer, we had pretty much everybody who was on the panel was a business owner, right?
Right, yeah.
We had some
everybody.
politicians in there.
Politicians, yeah.
I mean, it was...
Reverend clergy.
Yeah, Reverend clergy, we had them too.
I know you said that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Shout out to that, because often people don't necessarily consider clergy to be a part of those kinds of conversations. But, you know, as pastors, we often have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the business side of things, because it's even though it's not run like a business, you still have the same mindset and same thinking when it comes to serving the community.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it was, I'm glad that you said that. What were some of your other takeaways that you got from our session?
Well, see, I know some personal things about the session because you shared with me.
Yeah.
But I also, let me express this. What I'm saying here is, I know I'm going somewhere with this.
Watch this.
When you first started talking about those sessions and you were sharing with me, after you told me about the people that were coming, one of the first thoughts I had was, well, how much is this going to be for the community? How much is it going to be for you to attend?
It's going to cost.
And there was no cost.
No
right?
cost. None.
And I thought that was fantastic, because first of all, it expresses that your true intent and desire is to edify people, to make sure that we are equipped to make decisions that will allow our businesses and our communities to thrive. But on top of that, that also means that the people that presented had the same intention as well. And that's what I really love about the Urban Masterclass.
Yeah.
Y'all started it with this entire concept of, we want to bring everybody to the table, not just a few people. We want everybody to have access to information and have access to everything that they need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Can we really say anybody is really doing that right now? Honestly, no. Because most businesses have an aim, they have a demographic, they have a certain group of people that they want to target to make money from.
Yeah.
And this session was your second session, right? Because you did the lock seminar.
Yes, we did our lock series for locticians, yes.
And then this session, your second session, cost no one anything to be a part.
Nope, absolutely free.
You're making a name for yourself, right? So you could just say, we're going to charge for these things, but you didn't. And that adds so much value to the work that you do.
Thank
You're walking the walk and talking the talk.
Oh.
So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Oh,
Listen,
thank you so much.
Being somebody who's connected to communities, it means a lot to be able to know you can learn something that you need to learn, and not have to worry about spending money.
Right.
Plus, you fed everybody too. I mean,
well, listen.
let's talk about that.
Anybody that knows me know I like to eat.
And
so I don't care what it is. Bring the Snickers.
Where is it?
Where is the Snickers? We gonna eat.
We ate before we recorded.
Right. That's what we're gonna do. We had lasagna. It was good.
It was fantastic. I'm gonna have to.
That's what we do.
I'm gonna have to hit the gym.
It was my thank you. Thank you for being here, Herbert Jenkins.
You're welcome. I'm grateful.
Reverend Doctor. Like, we appreciate it. But can we eat first? Listen.
Hallelujah.
So that's what we do. So, but yes, I mean, that is, Lashana and I are very strategic in what we do and how we do it. We want our platform that we're trying to build to be something that's beneficial for everyone, you know. And I understand you can't bring everybody along, right? Because there's a saying, you know, you serve everybody, you serve no one, right? Or you help everybody, you really helping nobody. Because you have to have a target in what you're trying to achieve.
Sure.
So in this is our goal, I guess. What we're trying to achieve is really anybody who has a willing spirit.
See,
willing spirit to learn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for you to say that, even though you do have a target audience, it's far broader than the average target audience.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I love that you say you're looking for people with a willing spirit, right? Because often people don't make the connection between finance and faith.
Yeah.
And obviously, not everyone is a faith-based person.
Yes.
But those who are faith-based, there are very many who don't incorporate that in their business model or anything.
Yeah.
So I think that is wonderful that you would even say that. So that's great. Y'all are hitting every nail on the head.
We're trying.
You're doing it.
We're
You're
trying.
doing a great job.
We're trying.
Doing a great job.
So I would say we're excited about what's going to happen next. We will have more seminars. We're going to have more guests.
Okay.
On
I
our
won't say no.
podcast. Reverend Jenkins is going to be like a permanent fixture.
Oh, okay.
As a guest.
Okay.
Because he's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world.
Oh, thank you.
He's amazing, y'all. And like, he has a way of like bringing out, I guess, how do I say this? He just really knows how to really speak to a person's spirit.
Thank you.
Like, even when you're like just having a regular conversation, he'll say something that'll trigger a thought or trigger an emotion sometimes. You're like, oh,
Why?
so you end up
It's not
crying or whatever.
I promise it's not intentional.
It is. It is intentional.
Sometimes.
It is
Yeah,
intentional.
Okay. So sometimes.
It has to be sometimes. Right.
Sometimes.
But I'm so grateful that you're here today. So we are going to dive into some hot topics on
Absolutely.
today. Okay? So here we go. All right. So you ready for hot topics?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. So when it comes to faith and finance, when it comes to your faith and it driving your primary thoughts, like what should your primary thought what should it be when it comes to your financial situation in business and your personal finances?
Well, for me, I feel that, first of all, to have a desire to do anything, to me, I believe that it's already inspired by God. So my understanding is that if God is the one who's inspired you to do this, God is going to fund it. God is going to support it. God is going to make it what it needs to be in time. Perfect example. I know earlier we talked about, I know some personal stories about this particular session.
Yeah, he showed up.
Now, and God did.
And he did. And did.
you all made this session, got presenters, and everything was free, right? But you all poured in finances for food and gifts for the presenters, the packets for people to have information and things to write on. Y'all, you certainly made an investment in it. But I also heard from you that, first of all, the food was well over a 70% discount because of how things fell.
Yeah.
Right? So the money that you should have spent was drastically reduced, right? See, when you two determine that you're going to do something for the community and not make any financial benefit from it, God said, well, I'll take care of that financial stuff right here and right now.
Yeah.
And I feel for businesses and for our personal finances, if you are doing something that God has certainly impressed upon you to do, and if God has given you a heart for the thing that you're trying to do, most certainly God is going to walk you through every aspect of it, including the financial.
Including.
In
totality, right? It's more than just one facet of the event or whatever you're working on, project or whatever your goal is. God is going to see you through the entire thing.
Yes.
That's so true.
Every last part. And I think we focus so much on numbers that we don't think about the real impact that the impact of what we're doing and how it's affecting others in a positive way. I've noticed this trend. As a pastor, I have members in my church who are business owners and all that good stuff. But people will come to me and ask me, "Can you baptize my child?" I'm like, "Sure." And they're like, someone asked me if I could bless their car. I said, "Okay, sure," right? Because they were using it to get to and from church and help people and all that wonderful thing, all those wonderful things. But no one or very few people have come to me and said, "Can you anoint my business? Can you pour something especially intentional towards the things that I'm doing now," right? And I just think that it's sort of strange that we want God's hand to be blessed upon our houses and our families and our vehicles.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our business, we don't often think like, I need somebody to come bless this business. I've been pastoring almost 12 years now, and I can tell you I've blessed 2 businesses in 12 years. Blessed plenty of houses.
Houses, right? That's my house, Lord, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But businesses,
Wow.
2. And the most recent one, I went to the mall and I saw a friend of mine who was a barber, and for the first time, he'd finally just stepped out and started his own business.
Yeah.
And I was just walking in the mall. He wasn't open yet. He was just setting up. And he said, hey, I started this business. Everything's going well. I was excited for it.
Yeah.
But then he said something. He said, I already have plans to help out kids in the community for back to school. And I have these free things that I'm going to be doing to help our children. And the next words out of my mouth was, let me get my oil and let me bless your business.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when we see that people are truly desiring to not just make money and not just have a name, but to help people and to pour back and give back.
Absolutely.
I'm like, let's bless this thing and let's move forward with it.
That's so true. I think a lot of times that is the one thing that we may pray for. A lot of times we pray for things, Lord, I want a business, I want to work for myself, I want to be able to have a little bit more control when it comes to where my destiny is with my career, right? And He'll bless that journey, and then we get to, I guess, what we believe is arrived, or whatever the blessing is, we made it, and then that is the one missing piece. You're so right. Like, we need to get the business blessed somehow or another. Like, we got, we gonna figure this out. Like, but I mean, honestly, God is the center of how we found this. Because of our Lashana and I, we really want to make a difference. That's truly what this is. But you're right. I feel like sometimes in our situations, our financial situations, we kind of get a little sidetracked. It's not that you forget about God, but sometimes you don't know, as a business owner, sometimes you don't know how to marry the two, right?
That's true.
You're conflicted on, like, what's too much, what's not, because you're trying to appease all. And at that point, you got to say, listen, this is how I run my business. And that's all there is to it, right? And it's okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do. Yeah.
One of my strong suggestions for business owners is stop praying to be successful. And pray for longevity.
Ooh.
And I think when we take the time to pray for longevity, we're asking God to make this something that's not just successful, but it's sustainable. You want your business to last beyond you. You want your children to become the CEO after you. Your grandchildren to be benefited from it and work in it and help people and build. But how often do we just think about tomorrow?
Right.
And don't really think about generations after us. I believe that a prayer of longevity is going to extend your business beyond just being successful. Because longevity honestly is success.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is so true. Because if you're around for 30 years, well, clearly you're doing something right. If you're around for 300 years, 100 plus years, you're doing something right.
Absolutely.
And that is very true. I think sometimes we have to realize that in our community, we bring value. We are a valuable source to the community, to the Black community, to just community. Like, it doesn't matter if it's like black, white, purple, green, like to one another. And to where we live, right?
Absolutely.
Our network, our group, our circle, and we have to realize, as a group of people, we bring value.
And I think that's a place where many of us struggle, is because we struggle to see our own value, right? Like we see the value in the business,
right?
We see the value in the things that we want to do. But then we struggle to see how we are the most valuable asset to that business.
Right.
And that's a hard struggle for us. Imposter syndrome, I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yes. Talked about it,
It's something that a lot of people in this country struggle with. 70% of Americans, 70% have challenges involving imposter syndrome. And for those who don't know, imposter syndrome is this concept, this feeling inside you that everything that you have is because of someone else. It has nothing to even really do with God. Imposter syndrome makes you feel like you got where you are because you're lucky, or like your seminar went well because of the people you invited, not because it was your idea.
Right.
Imposter syndrome makes you feel like one day people are going to realize I'm just not this great person and that I'm a fraud. That's what imposter syndrome makes people feel. But for us in the United States, not only do 70% of us suffer from imposter syndrome, African Americans are 20% more likely to struggle with imposter syndrome. One of the common themes of imposter syndrome for us especially is this concept that we have to work 3 times as hard to be just as good as somebody else.
Why is that? Why do you think that we struggle, our community struggles with just believing in the value that we bring to the table? We are smart people.
We are intensely and immensely creative, and that's very true.
Just naturally, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Dr. Joy DeGruy writes this book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome.
Okay.
And in the book, she writes about how our ancestors used to push their children down verbally, negatively, to make them feel like less than. But it was a defense mechanism to protect them from being taken away, right?
Yeah.
By, slave owners and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So today, we sometimes find ourselves, or if you grew up like me, which I know you did, your parents were baby boomers, right?
Yeah.
So they were really tough on you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That being really tough on you was something that's been passed down for generations. But now we're in a place where, yes, we do need the toughness, but not to the degree that it makes us feel like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough to do these things, right?
Yeah.
Even sometimes on a theological and pastoral perspective, right? We tell ourselves, you got to be humble. You can't tell yourself you're great.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, we're also blessed and highly favored, right? So
you can't be both. I mean, you can.
You can't, and that's the key.
You can, yeah.
We have spent so much of our life being told, don't be this, don't be that, don't be this. You can't be prideful. You can't be proud of your accomplishments. You can't talk yourself up, when in actuality, we need to see that we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Right.
That God has inspired us to do amazing things.
Yeah. And
that it's okay to have pride in the things that you're doing, as long as those things that you're doing are for God. Yeah. So that those personal feelings hinder us from pouring our true selves into our businesses, because sometimes we're afraid to be successful. That's the fear. Because if we're successful, we all know the enemies, the snakes, and all the people that we don't want to draw attention to are going to be drawn to us. Have you? I'm going to ask you this honestly. I know. Just answer this question.
Okay.
Have you ever been in a place where you said, maybe it was on the job, or maybe working for a church or something, where you said, okay, let me not do this in a super dope amazing way because I don't want to make people mad. Let me not push this because I don't want people to.
You don't want to offend anybody.
And you don't want to draw too much attention to yourself, right? Yeah. That's a part of it. We push ourselves down because we've been so used to that.
Yeah.
But in order for us to thrive and for our businesses to thrive, we've got to start accepting that we are pretty awesome sometimes.
We are pretty awesome. Pretty great.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
It's not like we're perfect. It's not that we're better than anybody.
No, not at all.
But God inspired you to do the things that you do.
Yeah.
And we can be comfortable in that.
Yes.
And let that level of comfort pour into our business. And the other thing, we also have this feeling that I got to do it by myself. I got to do it all. I got to get it done. If they can't do it for me, I'm going to get it done.
Right.
We wear ourselves out.
Oh,
trying to be everything to the business.
We do.
Yeah.
That's why, I preach this all the time. I don't preach it, but I say this all the time.
I'm sure you preach it.
I preach it all the time. No, I'm playing. But I say this all the time. Build a team.
Hello.
It's
Build
okay
a team.
to have a team.
Yes.
And we talked about this in the seminar. Y'all, if you haven't watched the seminar, go back to my page, Kendra Elizabeth, or go to Urban Masterclass Network on Facebook.
And it's a two-part.
There's two parts, okay? Listen to the first and the second part. But our panelists, and I believe this was Reverend Murray that said this.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He said, you cannot do it all by yourself.
He did say that.
He said, you cannot. Listen, he understood that. He talked about the power of having a strong marketing team, the power of having a CPA, the power of having, a publicist, all these different things.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that you're not going to be able to have maybe everything when you're first starting.
Right.
But you have friends, you have family, you have people that believe in your business that are willing to help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the smallest way, they may think it's very small and minor, but to you, it's like a load that's been lifted. Build a team.
Yeah.
Get a photographer. I don't take pictures. I don't know how. So shout out to Ross Simmons, Thomas Ross Simmons. Thank you, because he was our photographer for our event. And he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, the pictures were great. And I love that y'all had your videos, you posted them live.
Yeah.
And then a few days later, you had all those pictures. I was like, these are some great pictures.
He took great, and he's a young guy, and he's so smart, so willing. I mean, y'all, come on.
We have people that are just waiting to be asked, hey, can you help me do this for my business?
Right.
I mean, shout out to you. I'm having a culture conversation with Christine Washington.
Yes.
We're talking about relationship resiliency.
On the 29th.
On the 29th.
Make sure you tune
Monday
in.
coming.
Yeah, this Monday.
And you made the flyer.
Oh.
2 flyers, as a matter of fact. It said, pick which one you like.
Oh, gosh.
Like, I that's not my wheelhouse. I would love to be able to say that is one of the things that I'm great at. I'm not. I was telling you, if I had to do it, I'd probably do it in Microsoft Word. Like, okay, let me get some photos.
Square.
Yeah. Let me turn this one a little bit to the right. But either way, like, when I asked you, you said sure.
Yeah.
And that flyer was, I don't even know.
It was a basic flyer.
Yeah, I mean, but it was perfect for what we needed.
But it's what we do, right? That's part of the Urban Network, right? Urban Masterclass Network. We're here to help one another. If you're part, and you are a part of our network, okay? So Reverend Jenkins is a part of
one
Urban
of the first
Masterclass
members.
Network. One of the first, There he is. But because of him, this really happened. Honestly, this was conversation. I was talking to him a long time ago before I even, started talking about it with LaShayna. Like, you kind of knew like what I was thinking and what I envisioned. And when Shane and I started talking about it, we were like, we could really do this.
Yeah.
But part of the inspiration comes from right here.
Oh, me?
Okay.
Well, I am humbled.
Years of friendship, like, and it just comes from you being a good person.
Thank you.
And
I try to be.
We thank you for all your encouragement to LaShayna and I, your encouragement to the business, just being a great friend, brother. Like, I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Anytime.
And you came on today and you dropped all these nuggets. But I'm going to tell you right now, what he said just now was build a team. Yeah. So what are you waiting on? Yeah. Stop being an imposter or living in imposter syndrome.
Yeah, just be great.
Be great. Know your value.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially in the room with other folks. People have a tendency to recognize when you don't value yourself. And they will take advantage. They will push you down. No, and the reason they do it is because they like your ideas and they want them for themselves. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Didn't I tell you? Nuggets. The golden nuggets. Golden nuggets. That's so true. When they know that you don't value yourself or they know that you may not know something. Yeah. Some people will take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Instead of trying to say, hey, I noticed you did this. Maybe you might consider this the next time. Or try this way to maybe help enhance a particular whatever. But some folks are not going to do that.
Not at all.
They're going to take your idea and they're going to run with it.
Because some folks have this concept that there's like literally no room at the top. But there's plenty of room for everyone to be successful, to have financial stability and beyond, and everybody still do the things they want to do and be happy with the work that they're doing. I mean, we turn everything into a competition. Everything.
It's not a competition.
It's not. I'm trying to tell you, it's really not. It's real. There are very few competitions in life beyond sports.
Yeah.
We choose to make things a competition when they don't even need to be. So,
Wow.
you know, this whole conversation as we think about Exodus 18 with Moses and Jethro, his father-in-law comes to see him, and Moses he's stretched out. He's just doing all of these cases for every issue that's going on in the camp.
Okay.
And so, you know, Jethro tells him, like, okay, first of all, you can't do this by yourself. Right? He said, put a group together and let them handle the little cases. And if it's too much for them, send the big cases to you, because you're never going to get rest, which we need to start doing is sleeping.
Rest.
Okay?
Yeah.
You'll never recharge. You'll never get a moment to just refresh yourself and be ready for the next day.
Yeah.
And it's so telling today that we just are so driven to just say, I'm gonna push it and I'm just gonna make it happen, and if nobody can help me, oh well. But then we don't even ask for help. We don't even
Scared to ask. That's true.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I felt uneasy asking you about the flyer. I was like, you just got off. Off that session, and I was like, because I know you're busy getting ready for the next thing.
Everybody's busy. I mean, welcome to life. Life is busy.
Right.
If you don't have a busy life, then something is missing.
Right. Like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
We're all busy in our own way.
Everybody.
Yeah. So it's really not a hard thing to believe in ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not. If we can believe in ourselves.
It is a hard thing, but it's something we have to learn. In my opinion, I would think that it is hard to sometimes believe in yourself, because honestly, sometimes the enemy does fight you on that. And if that's a struggle you have, I can see how it could be something that doesn't come naturally.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Now I've learned over the years that when I am being fought, it's just a reminder of the things that God has planned for me.
Yeah.
It took a while to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But for me now, I guess, for me, it's easy to say it really isn't as difficult as we make it.
Yes.
To just believe in ourselves.
That's true.
But our prayer life can certainly walk us through all of that.
They can. Well, listen, we're going to wrap it up right here, but I thank y'all. Let's give it a round of applause for Reverend Dr. Herbert Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins.
I'm going to get a shirt and put all these nicknames. You have so many
Pastor Jenkins. Reverend Jenkins. Dr. J. We thank him so much for standing in for my partner in crime, Dr. LaShana Wilder. Thank you all for tuning in today.
Thank you so much for having
Thursday.
me.
It's Thursday. Woo!
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this food.
And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like, share.
Absolutely.
Do it. Do it now. Huh?
We'll wait.
I got time. I got time.
Oh, this is too much fun. I can't wait till the next one. Just let me know when you need me.
Hey, this is what we do. Me and Shannon be on here cutting up every time.
This is the way it should be.
It's life. We gotta turn it on and off. Just be yourself,
And that,
just
makes it far more enjoyable to just be me.
Absolutely.
And not try and be holier than thou.
Because we can't.
Yeah, not at all.
We can't.
I can only be me. And I love it.
Amen to that.
So thank you. This was awesome. And I certainly continually, as you all do the work, I want to know I pray for y'all and your business all the time.
Thank you so much, Reverend.
And I can't wait to see it just keep.
And listen, Reverend Jenkins is being really humble right now, but listen, Journey to Wholeness, tell them when it is.
Typically Tuesdays at 12, if I don't have anything going on. Tuesdays at 12 on my Facebook page, Herbert Laval Jenkins. I also have a Journey to Wholeness on Facebook as well as Instagram. And they're all connected there, so you can follow me there. But I certainly talk about a therapeutic way of understanding Scripture and understanding the Bible. It's something we don't really talk about a lot. Mm-hmm. We talk about the Scriptures, but we don't talk about the grief or the fears or the anxieties. Mm-hmm. So I try to bring that to light, and so hopefully we'll be able to build further on that as well.
Absolutely,
so we can get an opportunity, and I think the two of you will need to join me on Journey to Wholeness.
We're there.
Okay.
Just say the word. Right. We'll be there.
All right. We're going to make it happen.
And make sure everybody on July 29th, Reverend Jenkins and Christine Washington are having a phenomenal event. It's going to be exciting. Where's it going to be held?
The address is, now you done put me out
It's
there.
1818.
Yeah, something
Norwood,
like
right?
that. Yes.
Norwood Drive?
I'm sorry, y'all. Just give me 1 second.
Oh.
Don't beat me up. Where's that flyer? Now, see, you done put me out here. And I don't have my glasses
Can you
on.
see? Can you see?
Oh, the 1818 Norwood Street.
Oh, Norwood Street.
Yes, at 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
In
Here
person
Square.
or on our Facebook pages. You can watch them online as well.
Yes.
Relationship resiliency.
Resilience, yo. Woo,
You
that
can
title
be-
alone.
All you got to be is somebody who's interested in relationships. You
Yep.
can be single, married, as long as you have an interest in your relationships or how to improve them or how to get through really dealing with imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And see yourself as a valued part of the relationship. Come join us. We're gonna have a great conversation.
And they're going to have refreshments.
Yes, you can't forget the refreshments.
I don't remember nothing else. I remember that.
The refreshments. You remember the address.
I remember the
couldn't
address.
remember.
I remember the address. I remember the title, but I was trying to, take it back to you. This event. I'm just going to support. He's in the network. Y'all, if you're not in Urban Masterclass Network, and after this, I'm going to wrap up for real. Urban Masterclass Network, be there. Be square. Join, subscribe, like, link, share, everything. Tell everybody. Come join the network. Peace.